Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it is afternoon. Good afternoon. Great to see you. Some news today. Some news today in the search for Sebastian Rogers. Announcement by law enforcement and a new search. Get into those details in just a minute. But significant, right? The day after they make an announcement, now they're conducting a new search. Now, obviously, they feel the pressure to solve this case, to find this child. But on the other hand, we're not in the business of coincidences, all right? That's my premise. In all the cases and trials and investigations I've covered, yeah, there are coincidences, but like as a general rule of thumb, I don't believe in them. I think, when you look at things, there is some level of a connection. And that's part of what I want to talk about today. When I talk about that search, I think we're also going to talk a little bit about mom, like why mom's not home. I think that's an important question. But I think there's a couple different ways to look at it. And I don't know the way people are reading mom in the interviews that she's given. But I'm not getting those like something is really, really off vibes from mom at all. I can't read someone's mind. I wasn't there. I don't know. But she seems broken. I look at this picture. She seems broken from what has happened. All right. Gen X and Gen X Granny and Frankie Figs are here, which is good news. They'll be helping to keep us in check here and keep things rolling in the chat room. Thank you so much. And what else we got? Oh, I have to do one more thing, and we'll be there. 1 second. All right. All right. So again, thank you for joining, jumping on here. Middle of the day, middle of the week. This is it. You want there to be some progress in all this. I don't know if there's progress in this case, and I don't understand. I'm sure investigators have eliminated some things, have searched areas, have gone through that house. Now, something came up yesterday, and there was a question on the live chat. I'm going to get this off the top because I think this could be significant. I forget who mentioned it, but one of our great viewers talked about the fact that they mentioned Secret Service was helping out. Secret Service, like, why is Secret Service helping out? Like, don't they just like protect the president and things like that? Well, here's what I found out last night. I had former FBI agent on and asked about why would the Secret Service be involved? And he said, federal agencies, sometimes they'll help each other. And where the Secret Service can come in to help is to look at electronic records. Okay? Electronic records. So what does that tell me? That opens up a whole new door in all of this, right? If the Secret Service is looking at the electronic records connected to this house and perhaps connected to Sebastian, we've heard about the ground rules, right? Ground rules against social media and other things. But, if a child wants to figure out something, they will figure out how to do it, right? If there's something they're not allowed to do, sometimes they break the rules. Sometimes teenagers don't follow all the rules of the house, okay? Breaking news to everyone. Sometimes teenagers don't follow all of their parents' rules. And if that was the case and he was on the internet, on social media, somewhere, could he have fallen prey to someone who was going to lure him out of that house? Right? Is that possible? Yeah, very possible. We don't know what happened. And again, everything that they're telling us, it leads to him just vanishing into thin air, which we know didn't happen. So while there's evidence of nothing, everything is a possibility. You following that logic? If there's evidence of nothing, right, which is what we've been led to believe, then everything is a possibility. And no one has been cleared. All the parents are cooperating, but none of them have been cleared. There's a difference between cooperation and being cleared. And one way to get yourself cleared is to cooperate and provide the information so they can clear you. But in a case where you have no evidence of anything, everything is a possibility. So no one can be cleared if you don't know what happened, right? That would make no sense. That would make no sense. So that's huge. So if Secret Service is looking at electronic records, digital records, whether it's relative to a phone, to the internet, text messages, emails, messages in apps. If the Secret Service is involved in this, that may very well be what they're looking at. Because as I said last night on my show, former FBI agent, I said to him, we've got a missing teenager in Tennessee. Why is Secret Service involved here? And that was the answer. It was like, a lot of times they'll help the FBI, federal agencies. Yeah, we need a hand here. Can you help us out with looking at some electronic records? And they'll jump in. So it's good that the Secret Service is on it, but maybe that means that this teenager, maybe he was involved there in terms of, not following every single rule of the household. Now, the other place you can go with electronic records, obviously, is electronic records of anyone in the house or anyone connected to him. So you're looking at all of that. So the fact that the Secret Service is involved is, my mic is not working. This mic is not working. Do we have a problem with the mic? Let me know in the comments real quick. Let me know in the comments if we've got a problem with the microphone. I did have everything crashed on me before. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay. Why is this mic not working? 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I know what it's going to be. Settings. Let me go to settings. Audio. Microphone. No, that's the wrong one. It's the wrong microphone. It's taking the wrong microphone. Okay, we got a problem. We've got a problem. All right, let's take a vote. Who wants me to fix my microphone? It's going to take a minute. Who wants me? Room echo. Yeah, because this microphone right now is not picking up my audio. We had a whole problem. The whole computer crashed. Do you want me to take a minute here to figure out my microphone? Let me know in the chat here. I don't know if we need to take a poll. Muffled. It's working. It's fine. I can hear you. Your mic is working. No, it's working. It's working. It's working. We hear you. It's fine to me. I hear you. I can hear fine. I hear microphone perfect. It's fine. Excellent. Excellent. It's working. All right. So I'm not going to take time to do that. All right. But I will, after this live stream, I will double check all the electronics hooked up here because something did happen. Everything crashed before. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know how much more information you can get on that. I think, you're not going to have a recording of it, right? But maybe text messages through a subpoena. All right. Let the police do their job. It's not just police, though. It's the sheriff. It's the FBI. It's the Secret Service. And now you've got the search taking place as well. Yeah, they're absolutely doing their job. When you have a case with this much attention on it, they feel it. They understand it. They know it. They don't want the thing to go cold. They don't want this thing to go unsolved. It becomes a very big priority for them, as every case should be. But unfortunately, I've seen the vast number of unsolved cases out there, and I've covered many of them on my show. And sometimes they just, they don't get the attention because there's not the pressure. Things fade and subside, and you think back to some of the big cases that were never solved. It happens, unfortunately. I think a big part here, you got to find them. You got to find him. And I don't think there's any presumption one way or the other, about him being alive or not alive. I don't think you presume one or the other. I think you have to have both possibilities in your mind, especially after a month, of what you're looking for. Because with no evidence of anything, right? All right. Muddy pause. I'm definitely going to work on the mic, though, for sure, after this. Thank you. So now you've got Secret Service working. We've gotten that. Now, what else did we learn yesterday, and how could that be connected to what has happened today, right? How could that be connected? Here we go. Since the passage of violent crimes, the Secret Service provided forensic technical support, National Center for Missing and Exploited. There you go. Thank you, Liz W. Great info there. Forensic and technical support to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Also help out. So, forensic technical support, right? Where does that go? Forensic what? Forensic where? We don't have like regular evidence here, so it's not going to be those kind of forensics. Forensic evidence connected to electronics, communications, things along those lines. In this case, I believe. Now, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is not a member of law enforcement. Great organization, does unbelievable work. Every night on my show, we profile a child that in coordination with the center on children around the country that are missing, and we do it every night on the show. That's how I finish every show on Court TV. So I think it's significant that they're helping, and I think there's a couple different ways they can help here. And let's get back to what else we learned yesterday. Confirmation that they found glasses. Okay. Press conference. Confirmation they found glasses. They're still investigating the glasses. And now a renewed search. 200 searchers. Could take a couple days here. And what I want to put up on the screen, I'll put up some, and thank you so much, Liz W. Appreciate that. Where are they going to do the search? Well, the first thing is this neighborhood. This is a nice neighborhood. This is a beautiful neighborhood. These houses are amazing. The streets are beautiful. But what I learned last night, at night, pitch black. There are no streetlights. There aren't streetlights in the neighborhood. But if we just freeze on this, you get an idea of the neighborhood. Like, this is the type of subdivision that you want to live in if you're raising kids. Absolutely where you want to be. Beautiful cul-de-sac, trees, yard, neighbors, community. It's everything you want. It's everything you want. And now that there's a renewed search, where exactly is this search going to be? Well, they said, what was it? Long Hollow Pike is what they said. And this, what you're looking at right here, is the road, Long Hollow Pike, just outside of his neighborhood. Heavily wooded area. Obvious place to look. Obvious place to look. And I say this in a lot of cases. The searches. Search the wooded areas closest to the home. Where did I learn that lesson? I learned that lesson in Orlando, Florida, in the case of Kaylee Marie Anthony. There was this massive search based upon all different tips and everything else. And in the end, she was found in the closest wooded area to the family home, about, 10 feet in, not deep in the woods. You know what I mean? You look at the wooded area closest to the home. Now, in the Madeline Soto case, it wasn't the wooded area closest to the home. It was the wooded area closest to where Stephen Stern's car broke down, where he was changing his tire. Okay, obvious place to look. That's where they found. Wasn't near the home, but was near where the car was found. So we know where the home is. So, in whatever may have happened, in whatever, however he was transported, or however he left that home, begin here. And that's where they're going. They're going to the closest wooded area to the home. And like search. Here it is again from a different angle. I'll make it a little bigger for you. That's what I'll do. Can I do that? I can do that. You look at this area, right? I mean, it's extremely wooded. On the other side is where the subdivision is. This is it. This is the place. I mean, you've got to go through everything there. Everything. That's the first place. You have to make sure you've done the grid, you've done the search, and I mean, every possibility in that area. That's where you have to start. And I know there's tips. It was good that they went to the landfill. Another obvious place where you have to go, and unfortunately, a lot of these cases. But at the end of the day, start close. It's like when you're looking at the family, right? You're looking at the people in his circle of his world. You look at the people closest to him, and then you start moving out. If you're doing a physical search, look at the areas that are closest, and then move out. And that's apparently the area they're going to or going back to. Again, I get to it. This neighborhood is just, it is a gorgeous neighborhood. Beautiful neighborhood. Woman with a purpose. Thank you. I think everyone, and let's look at this picture now. This gives you the best view. This one gives you the best view of this area. I mean, just look at all those woods, Long Hollow Pike area. Obvious place to look. Subdivision right across the street. So, I mean, it looks pretty dense. If you're gonna, run away to the woods, if you're gonna hide, if he just wanted to get out of the house, that's a place he could go. If someone was trying to get rid of him, if someone was luring him out, maybe they lured him into this area. I mean, this is the place to look, and this is where they're going to be looking. I said the search, a couple days, 200 people, Long Hollow Pike. Boom, there it is. All right, let's take a look here. Rosanna Duran La Jefa. Is it La Jefa or La Jefa? The stepfather and mom interview raises inconsistency for me. Okay. I watched their interviews. Here's the thing, right? For people who've never been on camera before, people who've never been put in this position, you think of the combination of things. And again, I always start by giving everyone the benefit of the doubt. From the comments to people I meet, to guests I have, to cases I'm covering. But then I look at the evidence surrounding it. Like even with criminal defendants, I give them the benefit of the doubt until I start to see and hear the evidence. And then, things start to happen. And with stepdad and mom, I mean, you've never had like the spotlight on you and people coming in your house and interviewing you. The one thing they've done, they've spoken. They didn't hide. And I think there's some value in that. And there's some credibility in that, and speaking publicly. Now, why would she leave? Why would she leave? I think there's three things you can look at here. One, this is where he disappeared from. My husband has to leave to go to work, right? He has to work. People have to work. You live in that neighborhood, you need to work. So I don't want to be alone. I mean, that could be part of it. I don't want to be alone. The spotlight, people questioning her, keyboard warriors threatening the family, accusing the family, not feeling safe at home. That's another reason to potentially leave. Third reason to potentially leave, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. That's a reason. That's another reason to leave. And I think that's the biggest problem people have is, if he left, he may come home. And he comes home, I want to be there. I want to make sure I'm there when he comes home. Could you imagine at this point if he came home in the middle of the night and there's no one at the house? Right? I mean, and there's anything is possible right now. Anything is possible. That's what we've learned. Anything is possible. All right, great job. Keep on keeping on. Just needed the sound isolation on whenever you get a chance. Money Paws, trust me, I know what happened. This microphone not working. There's a backup microphone, and the backup microphone is the one that's picking up the sound right now. And I can't switch to this without taking at least 5 minutes to follow the wires and figure it out. But I'll get to for the next live one. Trust me, this mic will be working. But thank you, Money Paws. Appreciate your support. Now, is the search where they found the glasses? We don't know. They didn't say where they found the glasses. They said they're continuing the investigation connected to the glasses. Is part of that continuation this search, right? Is it a coincidence? Confirmation that they found glasses and now a renewed search? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. And the thing with the glasses, I mean, should it take more than 5 minutes to figure out if they're his glasses or consistent with his glasses? First of all, mom should be able to provide information. I don't know if he has more than one pair. I've seen him wearing different glasses at different times. I even have there's a picture of him circulating of him in a store, right? In a store trying on some glasses. So he may have different glasses. That may be his thing. I don't know. How many pairs does he have? Well, mom should know. Like, take a look at home. How many pairs are home? Which ones are missing? Do you know which ones are missing? Oh, yeah, those new ones that we just got. Do you have a picture with the new ones? Here's a picture with the new glasses. Okay, so now you know exactly what they look like, the glasses that, according to mom, he was wearing. All right, what do the glasses look like that we found? Are they the same brand, same type? Okay, now let's send them for additional testing. Let's see if we find any DNA fingerprints on them to confirm that they're his, that they're not some prankster planting similar glasses, right? Because that's a possibility too. Anything's possible here. Anything's possible here. So I think that's, oh, Sheriff just announced that. The sheriff has announced that. There was an announcement today, Michelle, because there wasn't an announcement yesterday. But since I've been on here, maybe there was. If so, thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. If he has announced that the glasses are not related to Sebastian, that's a big deal. And it should be relatively easy to figure out. But as of yesterday, in the press conference, that wasn't the case. And as of last night, that was not the case. So if that's what's happening, Michelle, that's new news and way to break the news in the chat. That's awesome. All right. Frankie Figs, thank you, says it's fine. And I guess that's the audio. Michael Wolf says it's fine too. If you can't trust Michael Wolf, who can you trust? That's an awesome picture. I love that. Yeah, so I'll keep going. I will keep going. Absolutely. All right, we've got Janice. Too many similarities with Summer Wells and other Tennessee cases. Look at the profiles. Kids under investigation by CPS parents that have issues with the law. Seem like they are profiled for underground abduction for organ harvesting. I think that's organ harvesting. Okay. Well, Tennessee, right? That's a problem. Unsolved cases in Tennessee. Way different, though, scenario, I think, between, let's start first with the home and the neighborhood. Okay? The home and the neighborhood, much different. Like Summer Wells was up on the top of the mountain, very, very unique sort of property. The house with the stairs down into the basement, and the story of the people who were there, and the time of day. Like that was middle of the day when all that purportedly happened to Summer Wells. So that's a little different. The similarities are, yeah, There were some level of CPS investigations. Still waiting to hear more details on the investigation. I've heard like mixed versions of the CPS investigation from different interviews, and that's a little troubling. That's not clear. It's not clear to me because we're getting it sort of secondhand, not secondhand, but from not like an actual report. Okay, here's the report. Here's what it says. Abduction for organ harvesting. The abduction of Summer Wells. How could that have happened? Now, I hate to switch topics here, but I remember looking at that case and where the house was and access to the house. How could someone get up there and just at the right time abduct that child? To me, that was a stretch. That was a stretch, but a possibility as well. It hasn't been solved. Any case that's not solved, anything is possible. It just didn't seem logical to me at the time. But thank you so much, Janice. Appreciate it. I want to make this big again. Again, the new search is in this area that you're looking at here, this Long Hollow Pike, which is a densely wooded area across this sort of major road, Yellow Line Road, across from the subdivision. That's the latest and the biggest development now. Is it related to the glasses? Well, as we heard from Michelle L., she believes that the sheriff has announced that the glasses were not related, which would be an update, which is important information, especially given the timing of all of this. Given the timing, right? Confirmed glasses, renewed search. Maybe there is no connection, and they're not. And again, are they going to tell us? Are they really going to tell the public everything? Are they going to tell the public the reason for the search? Likely not. They're saying it's just a search, no real reason for it. Oh yeah, there's a reason for it. There's always a reason. And the reason could be, the pressure. The reason could be, did we take a close enough look in this area? Do we need to do more? What? All right, it's working. It's working. You sound good. Vinny tricking us for no, I'm not tricking you for comments. Someone was saying that they couldn't hear me, and then I checked, and I have two microphones, so I don't think my A microphone is working right now. Thank you. Mette. In Italian, that'll be mette. Okay, the only reason she's broke is because she's going to spend the rest of her life in jail. Anything's possible. Anything's possible, but we don't know. But we don't know, right? Anything's possible, but we don't know. This is, I don't know. There obviously have been other cases like this, right, where someone seemingly vanishes, but most of the time there's a little something. There's a little something to go by. Like there's evidence of something. Whether it's a door that was left open, a window that was open. I remember was it the baby Lisa case? Was it baby Lisa? Years ago, I covered. And again, a baby stolen from inside a home. A lot of people obviously were looking at the parents. How could this happen? But there were windows that you could climb into, a window that was unlocked, a window that was open. So usually there is something. Usually there is something. And this one, all right, glasses are not his. All right, fantastic. We're getting double confirmation. We have two sources now. And that's good. Just looking at some of the comments. So getting back to mom leaving the home, should we presume the best? should we presume the best? That it was a safety issue, it was a psychological depression issue, it was wanting to be with her husband issue. And if you just take a little time to think about it, would you want to be alone in that moment? Would you? Let's put aside what you think of the interviews and what was said. Look at the big circumstance. Your child is missing. Your child's been missing for a month. Your husband's been with you throughout. Now he has to go back to work and he's going to be away from home, out of town. Would you want to be with your husband at this time, or would you want to be alone in the house? I think that's a fair question. Now, one problem I have, getting back to interviews, is when she spoke with Nancy Grace. And again, I've been there, ladies and gentlemen, more so than most, being interviewed by Nancy Grace. It was different, obviously. We both worked for Court TV. And when I was working for HLN, there were times where I would be out in the field covering a story, covering a trial, and I would go live on Nancy's show. And, when I first got to Court TV, new kid on the block, it's a little intimidating, to say the least. And I'm like a professional and I'm doing my job, and we're not even adversarial. But I mean, she has a very strong presence. And if you're live on the air and you're speaking, you don't know how you're going to react in that situation. Trust me, because other correspondents I've worked with, I've had a hard time. Like they like, for me, the first few times, okay, I get it. I understand her personality, and we go back and forth. We're friends, and everything worked great. But the first couple times, and not having that relationship yet with Nancy and really knowing her, it was just intimidating. It's a little intimidating. Now, for someone who's in her position and you're answering questions there, it can be a little intimidating. So I give you that. But still, her answer was that, and Nancy was asking the appropriate questions. You're not home. Why aren't you home? Why aren't you home? And then she said something to the effect of, well, he could be anywhere, which is true. But if he left on his own and he came back, where would he go? He would go home, right? If he was somewhere and he was in trouble or was hiding or whatever's going on with him, and he was going to leave, he would go home. And I think that's part of the problem a lot of people have with her not being there, and people putting themselves in those shoes, which is tough. Until you're in the shoes, you can't be in the shoes, right? Until you wear those horrible shoes, you can't talk about those shoes. So on that issue of leaving home, I mean, I would like to, hopefully at some point this week, have a guest on who's been in those shoes, who can explain what it's like to be a parent with a child missing, and can talk about the thoughts and everything else, and have them give their analysis. And I think people who've walked that walk of living that worst day are in a better place to explain or either question or understand the actions of a parent. And that's what's happening here. This is interesting. From Mimi Tanya. I was listening to a podcast, and a very plausible theory was made about the shoes. Dad had just bought new shoes. What if he took his old shoes out of the trash? He took the trash out that night too, according to Mom, right? He took the trash out that night. Mrs. B, you need some moderator. We have moderators. We've got moderators, Mrs. B. We've got Frankie Figs, Gen Z, Grandma. We've got them. We've got moderators. Janet, super sticker. Whoo! Thank you, Janet. Nice picture. Look at the lighting there. Good lighting. Little backlight. Right? The backlight is important in a picture, but it's got to accent the way Janet's doing. When we're on the air, we have backlights as well. It's just obviously the background can't be brighter than the foreground. So we've got brighter lights coming this way. Then a nice little accent off the back is nice. After Dark, thank you. By the way, I had a show called After Dark. I don't know if people watching remember that show. It was on HLN. We launched during the Jodi Arias trial, and we built Travis Alexander's apartment just outside the studio. And we had an in-studio jury every night, and we would litigate different issues in the case in front of the jury. Then we take the jury out to the recreated scene. We bring in experts. Great show. Wondering what this After Dark is, though. What is this After Dark? Hey, by the way, thank you so much. Over 2,000 here in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week. This is like the middle show, middle. Over 2,000. Please share on Facebook and hit the like on YouTube and retweet or re-X on X. And on Twitch, please share us on Twitch. We're just building up Twitch. Any folks been on Twitch? Still waiting for the first comment from Twitch. I don't think I've seen one yet. We got a Facebook comment from Berta. How do you all from Cornwall in the UK? Thank you. I get Gen X throwing some love out to Muddy Paws. Okay. Yeah. Well, after a month, I mean, the radius gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But you got to start at what we're looking at right now, right here. This is across the street. This is where the renewed search is going to be, in this area. So make sure you've gone through the closest wooded area to the home first, and I mean, really gone through it. And then, yeah, keep expanding the radius, and water is an obvious place you have to go to. Texas EquiSearch. Are they in the game now? Are they in the game? They were down there in Orlando. Frankie Figs. Thank you, Frankie. Let me get this going here. All right. So the other thing, keep his face out there, right? So make sure during this, keep his face. It's important. It's important because as much as we know this story, and you know the story, and have been following the story, there's another pretty big part of the population that, you know, things really have to bubble over for them to understand and to be cognizant of it. And yeah, Long Hollow Pike is a very long road, but it goes right by the neighborhood, and there's tons of woods right there. Got to start there. And I'm sure they've been there already, but like really got to go there. By the way, folks, if you want to check out my show on television, Gen X has posted a link for you so you can find that. 8 to 10 every night. 8 to 10 every night on Court TV. Okay, here we go. Thank you, DNA Reslin. They posted on Facebook that did they actually say they ain't Sebastian's glasses? If they did, that would be funny, right? Folks, these ain't Sebastian's glasses, but thank you, DNA. Appreciate it. Yeah, this is something else, right? This I don't understand. So last night I had on the United Cajun Navy, okay, on my show. And they described these threats they were getting. surrounded at the hotel, like barricaded in at the hotel, online threats as well, right? And I asked him, I said, well, have you told law enforcement? He said, yeah, we filed reports with law enforcement. So something came up during the press conference yesterday where law enforcement seemed to indicate that there were no reports made, but they did make a report. I don't know if it's with the same agency, maybe it's with a different agency. I don't know. But they absolutely did, according to what they told me last night, file the complaint, because whoever is threatening a crew that has voluntarily shown up to help search for a missing child, those people need to be looked at. Those people need to be looked at. There's not many reasons why someone would threaten the United Cajun Navy from searching for a missing child. Why would you do that? One, if you don't want the child to be found. Okay, that's a big one. That's the most obvious. So anyone engaging in that behavior needs to be investigated and figure out why. Now, there's other reasons. You could be just someone who doesn't like outsiders. I mean, I've covered stories around the country, and there are parts of this country, they just don't like outsiders. Get out of here, especially the media, but outside search crews who bring with them attention and the media. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here. You're not from here. Get out of here. That's another reason, but you're going to threaten someone's life because they're searching for a missing child? What is that about? What on earth is that about? That makes no sense. Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, I need one of these cartoon pictures of myself. I don't have one. I need to get one because that's really good, Jennifer. That looks good. Yeah, Gen X, Granny doing a great job, along with Frankie Figs. All right, here we go. Yo-Yo Vinny, music production. Fantastic. After dark. I used to be in the music industry, by the way, folks. You can look it up. Dance music back in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah. Yes. Had a record label called Metropolitan Records. You can look it up. So I'd be interested in what type of music After Dark is producing here. This is a great point from Danielle. With this case pending, unsolved, we're all going to be in Tennessee. When I say we all, I hope everyone's going to a CrimeCon this year in Nashville. But I'll be there. Going to do my court TV show live. And that'll be, it's on 8 to 10 Eastern time, but it's a different time zone. So if you're at CrimeCon, it'll be from 7 to 9. We'll be going live. So make sure you come by. Danielle, I expect you to come by wearing that hat. Thank you, Mrs. B. Super sticker, and the dog. Tara. Oh, interesting. So the ones, are you saying, Tara, that the ones going after the United Cajun Navy are the same folks that were creating some chaos during the Gabby Petito case and the little Quentin Simon case? I don't remember anyone being threatened there, but maybe they were threatened during the search. I wasn't on the ground there. That's fascinating. That's troubling. That's also troubling. In the Quentin Simon case, you're looking for, that kid. Those eyes, the hair, everything with that little boy, like how anyone could do harm to Quentin Simon. I don't understand that. Oh, all these cases. Marla, thank you, Marla. Thank you for the support. Great to have you aboard. Make sure you come to CrimeCon. I just check I always got to check the clock. I check the clock. I got some time here. 45 minutes in, but you're not going to be short today. We're going over an hour for sure. Going over an hour for sure. So let me recap from the beginning. So what we've learned, the glasses not related to Sebastian. Is that good? Is that bad news? I would say that's good news. And here's why I would say it's good news. Because if those glasses did belong to Sebastian, much more likely that Sebastian ran into some trouble, like big time trouble. Big time trouble. Right? If he doesn't have his glasses, number one, he can't see. Number two, there's a reason his glasses would be off. So the fact that those aren't his glasses, let's take that today as good news. As good news that because we don't know anything, right? Literally know nothing. Anything is possible. And the fact that those aren't his glasses, I think, adds to the possibility that he is somewhere waiting to be found, looking to be found. He might be lost somewhere. He could be being held somewhere. He could be trapped somewhere. But the fact that those aren't his glasses, I'm taking as good news today. Not great news. There's only great news is we found him alive. That's great news. All right, Danielle voting for Duty Ron as a moderator. Would Duty Ron be a moderator? Isn't he busy? Isn't Duty Ron too busy to do that? All right. What's this? So here's the problem. This whole vanished concept, this without a trace concept. And the reason it's troubling is you could be running into a situation where a case doesn't get solved. Like if something bad, like if it's him leaving a 15-year-old, is he really going to be able to be that stealth to leave and disappear and not be found if he leaves on his own? Now, if he's lured somehow, he would have to get out of the house in a stealth fashion. And then from that point forward, whoever lures him is really good at what they're doing. Really good. And then the question becomes, if that's a possibility, which everything's a possibility, how would they have contacted him? How would they have made that connection with him? Now, could it be kids at school? Kids at school, some evil kids at school. We've seen evil kids at school. Bullies, whatever. Could they get away with it like this? Like a Slender Man situation? Something as bizarre as that? They couldn't get away with it. Kids? Could other teenagers pull off luring a teenager out of his home, taking him somewhere and doing something to him, either holding him captive or whatever, without a trace? I find that unlikely. Not impossible, but very unlikely. As unlikely as him being able to leave, hide, run away. That's why we keep coming back to where we're coming back to, right? That's why we keep coming back. But everything's a possibility. Renewed search in the Long Hollow Pike area. That's what they're calling it. Wooded area. It's a long road, but the area closest to the subdivision, densely wooded. Densely wooded. This sums it up. This sums it up. You don't just vanish. Ooh, selling the home. And again, I get it. On the one hand, I get it. They searched the home for evidence. There was no evidence. So, what happened? What happened to Duty Ron? Is he okay? The green-eyed PI in the house. Yes. Okay. New construction. School, church, woods, dogs. It's been a month. I know it's been more than a month, right? I mean, this happened the same time Madeline Soto disappeared. Same day this all started. And we know where that case is, right? Prime suspect. We know how that's going to end. It's just a matter of dotting I's, crossing T's in that investigation, which is what they're working on now. Church, woods. Everything is a possibility. Everything is a possibility. And let's not forget, remember in Cleveland, all those young girls who were held captive in that home, which was in the neighborhood, right? Has every house been searched? Now, a beautiful neighborhood, great neighborhood, but have we searched all the houses? Has everyone volunteered and allowed someone to walk through their home, their basements? All right. Anne Marie says the backup mic is working great. Fantastic. That's why there's always a backup to the backup. You need a backup to the backup, no matter what. There's always a backup to the backup. Okay, Skylar, I will reveal that I am not Jewish. I have a lot of Jewish friends. The town I grew up in was 1/3 Italian, 1/3 Irish, 1/3 Jewish. I played basketball at the Jewish Community Center, but I've been baptized. I've been confirmed. I have taken communion. I am Roman Catholic, as are most Italian Americans. Not all, but most Italian Americans. But thank you, Skylar. What was that? That was silly. Yeah, Seth's going to be, I think Seth may be on with Nancy today, and Seth's going to be on my show Thursday. So Thursday night, I'll be speaking of Sebastian's dad on Thursday. I'll tell you who we are having. So a lot of people covering the story, but there's one local reporter who is covering it, I think, and has the experience working there. Nick Barris from Channel 5, who was on my show last night. Hopefully he'll be on the show tonight. They're sort of leading the local coverage of this story and have been from the beginning, and he is the one leading that coverage. So we'll probably have him on tonight. But Seth has a lot of information. So Thursday night, I'm going to have him on my show. Here we go. All right, there's a whole thing happening here. There we go. Mrs. B throwing some love to Gen X Granny. Okay, so what happens? Like, it's a case where investigators will make public information that they believe will help them, not help me on my show, but help them, which is to help solve the case. So any information they release for a reason and for a purpose. And information they don't release for a reason or a purpose. Right? Getting into this and very guarded here for a reason, because you don't know exactly what happened and you don't know who, if anyone, is responsible. But there are certain legal things that come into play. Like if you say someone is cleared, right? If you come out and you say, we've cleared someone, that can have impacts on the case and not necessarily in the investigation, but looking at it from my perspective as a prosecutor, when you get to trial. See, declarations that are made, anything that is done during the course of the investigation, if there is a criminal prosecution down the road, like a criminal defendant, what you say can and will be used against you, what law enforcement says can and will be used against them by the defense. So you have to be very guarded in what you say and be very precise in the words that you use. Because you don't want to, in front of a jury, say, well, you cleared my client. My client was cleared. And then what happened? And then the defense will have some reason why all of a sudden they changed course and went after their client after they were cleared. So even if you believe that there's like no evidence and everything looks good, until you are 1000% sure you're not going to clear them. Even if in your mind as an investigator, you've cleared them, but you haven't seen everything and you haven't figured everything out. Because you can't clear them and then down the road, if something develops or something that you thought was going one way goes the other way, and now the person that you cleared is now charged with something, that's going to kill the prosecutor and kill their chances of proving a case beyond a reasonable doubt. Like having a member of law enforcement say you're clear is like the definition of reasonable doubt in front of a jury if they ever get charged. So I always pay very close attention to the precision of the words that are used. So what they said, cooperating, not cleared. So there have been plenty of cooperating people who've been charged. And again, we go back to what we talked about yesterday, Casey Anthony. She cooperated. Big shout out to Joseph Petito. Everyone deserves the same attention. Absolutely, Joseph. Thanks for stopping in. Great to see you. Probably see you at CrimeCon, maybe. But thank you. Where are we? 59. Again, every time I go like this, I'm checking the clock because I got my meeting coming up to get ready for the show tonight. But let's do this. We're at an hour. Tonight, 8 o'clock, we'll have all the latest on this story. We're also taking a look at a trial that we're tracking down in Florida involving an OnlyFans model charged with murder. It's a it's a brutal case, but there's some new video that's been released, and we'll take a look at that. Also, don't forget what's happening out in Idaho, in Boise. Chad Daybell, jury selection is continuing. Matt Johnson, Court TV, crime and justice correspondent's out there. We'll hear from him on the latest there as we get ready for that trial. And this one we'll actually see. There'll be a camera in there. It's the court's camera, but you'll see the witnesses as they testify. Last time we heard them. This time we'll get to see those witnesses. So that's happening as well. We'll be talking about that tonight. Great point here from Sandy. Yeah. And again, the precision of words. Once someone is considered or is a suspect, like they get certain rights when law enforcement has contact with them and discussions with them, right? Miranda warnings, you've got to provide them. If there is some evidence to believe, oh, this person may have been involved. And naming someone publicly as a suspect has other implications and ramifications. So that's why people in the media are very cognizant of the words that we use when talking about people connected to a case. And yes, a suspect will be a suspect before they are a suspect publicly, right? They're always ahead of us. They need to be. So they need to figure out what happened. And we need to find this child. So let's hope the next time we're on here, we have a little more information. Bingo. Thank you, Tigress. Very interesting. And this is why you keep searching, you keep looking. You don't know what you're going to find. You don't know where you're going to find it. You don't know what it may or may not lead to. Biodad found the glasses. Law enforcement says the glasses are not connected to Sebastian. That's where we are. We'll have a lot more tonight, folks. Austin Crime Daily with us. Thank you, Austin Crime Daily. Fantastic. And Liz, Preston Lord cases. We'll take a look at those. I write this stuff down. I absolutely do. Preston Lord cases. And those are in AZ, Arizona. All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Yeah, let's hope next time we talk about this story, hopefully tonight, that there is some information, that they've got a lead, and maybe they have an answer, and maybe they find Sebastian alive. That's all we can hope for. I'm Vinny Politan. I'll see you tonight, 8 o'clock on Court TV. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing and following and retweeting. All of it helps a ton. And again, I'll be here as often as I can in between everything else I'm doing. We got one more note here. Late note from Coca-Cola. Person benefit from his Chris ex-wife lost custody daughter once faced. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Coca-Cola. We're out of time, but thank you so much, Coca-Cola. We'll follow up on that. And two women missing in Oklahoma. Thank you, Sandy. And the hits it's unfortunate folks go missing, but the good news is there's a way to connect to the world now. Like the World Wide Web, the internet is used for some awful things, like some really awful things. And there are predators out there. But one thing that you all are proving, and I think that the true crime community can prove, is that, hey, We can put a spotlight on stories. We can make stories big. We can keep faces in the news. We can spread the word. We can hope doing all this leads to leads. To think about how far we've come from just the back of a milk carton to where we are today. Thank you, Coco Crisp. Much, much appreciated. Have an awesome day. But think about how far we've come. All the ways to reach and to spread the word and to help, because the families who are missing their loved ones are suffering and they need help from anywhere and everywhere. As a member of the media with a television show, I do what I can do there. I come online. You all are sharing this stuff on your feeds as well. Think about how it just spreads and goes everywhere. So someone who isn't even, someone who follows true crime stories, it's going to come across their feed. Oh, there's a missing child. Oh, this is my neighborhood. Oh, wait, this person's missing. Let me see what they look like. And now all of a sudden they know that there's a child like Sebastian missing in their neighborhood. And that's how it should work. And that's the good that can be done through social media, which obviously has so many pitfalls and can also be a huge waste of time and attention, depending upon what you're doing. It can be great entertainment, right? It can be great entertainment, but it can also do some good. And let's continue to do that. Let's continue to do that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tonight, 8 o'clock on Court TV. Have a wonderful day. And please don't forget to hug the kids.